Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Tonight we're back here with the Nostalgia Critic. Today we got Batman Begins, the start of the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Yeah. This one, the Heath Ledger Joker. Well, I mean, not there yet, but you get the idea. First up, the Scarecrow one, and the start of the Batman. So, shall we? Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. Whew. Here we go.
Oh, having trouble?
My God, it's my greatest nemesis, Potato Baghead.
It's the Scarecrow. Wait, is that an actual villain?
Probably in the 60s.
Anyway,
True.
I sprayed it with a toxic gas.
What does it do?
It makes you
I'm gonna try not to do that.
your worst fear.
Swear it on me. That's not enough to destroy Batman.
Don't worry, Batman. I'm like totally here to save the day.
Batgirl, what happened to you?
Whatever. I'm like totally
I
the same.
think we're in the
I'm
wrong
Alfred
Batman
Zeus from
movie.
England without a British accent.
No, this
think.
doesn't feel right.
Oh, it's fine. Just take a look at Mr. Freeze.
Freeze.
Nice to see you.
No!
It's not too bad. You
The hell?
finally get to wear a batsuit with nipples on it.
Oh, I was drunk when I recommended that.
Are you sure? Because you paid for them on your Bat credit card.
No, it's all wrong. Batman is dead. Batman is dead.
No, he's not.
Morgan Freeman, have you come to narrate my death?
That man is too powerful of a character to be destroyed, even by all this.
Oh, like, did I mention we play hockey?
I don't wear hockey pads.
No, Batman. More competent people bring you back to life.
Impossible. There's no coming back from this.
Oh, yes, there
What
is.
about that?
There's in-depth character studies.
Okay, that sounds grown up.
One of the greatest Joker performances of all time.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And one of the most memorable scenes in all movie history.
That happens after the bat nipple shit.
You bet it does.
Yep.
Wow. And I'm assuming the Scarecrow and Batgirl are treated with dignity?
Not really.
We still get hurt.
But I'm still okay, that's all
No,
that
Batgirl.
matters.
Sorry.
For that.
Screw you.
What? Let's see how things get back on track. This is...
Batman.
Batman.
Here we go.
Crazy to think it's been over 2 decades since everything went to shit with Batman Cinematic World, and almost 2 decades since it got back on track. We're here to look over Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy to see how they change comic book movies forever. That's right,
yeah.
most of them. And of course, have some laughs along the way about what still works and what doesn't. But the
Amen.
problem is, there's 5 spots in March and only 3 movies. So, I'm looking over the other 2 best Batman movies, Batman and Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's gonna be a ton of fun
probably get
discussing
Mask of the
these films, so
Phantasm
let's not
sometime.
waste any time. Let's start with where it all started, Batman
Begin.
Begins.
Here we go. Yep. Start it all.
Released in 2005 with very few people talking about Batman after the last movie, Batman Begins was the breath of fresh air the franchise desperately needed. Doing well, but not breaking any records, the film was almost a proof
that would
of
be the next one.
concept to show that there was still a fan base for a serious Batman movie. And in my opinion, laid the groundwork for a lot of future comic book films. Just count the
You know,
story
honestly,
and pacing
I didn't even see
similarities
this
between
one.
this and
I
Iron
saw,
Man,
like,
and
the
you'll see
Dark
what I'm
Knight
talking
and the
about.
Dark Knight Rises.
I will
did
admit,
not
while it's
know
a great
about this.
Batman origin story, it's hard to say it's the perfect Batman film. There's still some
Fair.
problems here and
Ooh.
there, but the great moments still hold up as legitimately great. And there certainly are a lot of those moments to look over, so let's dive right into it.
Here we go.
This is...
So are you Batman or the Nostalgia Critic or...
Yeah, how exactly does this work?
Oh, it's very simple.
Fuck off.
I am the knight.
You didn't have
we
a
go.
punchline, did you?
Movie's like 2.5 hours, man. I got a lot to get through.
Okay, I'm gonna go find a catering table in this warped fantasy thing I'm in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
good luck with
I
that.
technically even exist?
Nope, not anymore.
This is Batman Begins.
Here we go.
It opens with a young Bruce Wayne and one of the maid's daughter, Rachel, playing in the backyard, but he stumbles into a cave filled with bats.
Oh!
Thank God that's what he found down there. If it was bugs, his costume would look very different.
Ew.
Because Lord knows Nolan can't tell a story in order, we flash forward to
much.
modern day where
Wow.
Bruce, played now by Christian Bale, finds himself in a Bhutan prison.
You
What would he do?
hell, Licha Man. And I am the devil.
Mr. Devil, can you let me eat my cat vomit first? I'm sure the chefs worked very hard on it.
Chapter.
Okay, first problem in this movie, the action sucks.
Yeah, we
They
can't
say
see.
Nolan wanted to do the opposite of Schumacher, but sure does feel like he took his close-up jumbled cinematography from Batman Forever.
Jeez, zoom out a bit. We can't see.
Military! For protection! I don't need protection. Protection for them.
Your shaky cam nearly killed them!
The world is just...
Yeah, fair enough. Though I'm not too sure why they did that. Like, you could have just zoomed it out a bit. Like, I know you want to show, like, the punches, but come on. It's fine. You could zoom out a bit. Sheesh. I'd like to learn what the heck was going through their heads for that one. Anyway.
Small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
He's approached by a man representing Ra's al Ghul, played by Liam Neeson. I think most of us figured out early on this was Ra's al Ghul, but I will admit, I thought it was going to be a bit more clever. In the comic, he uses the Lazarus Pit to stay immortal, and I thought the idea here was Ra's al Ghul was an identity that was passed down over the years. So after Ra's, played by Ken Watanabe, dies, this one takes his place. In a way, making Ra's al Ghul immortal.
Is Ra's al Ghul immortal? Are his methods supernatural?
But no, it's just a decoy. This is the original Egyptian Ra's. Hey, you know, if these pass as Egyptian, anything's possible.
Fair?
Someone like you is only...
I mean, I guess they didn't want to include the Lazarus Pit, because, yeah, let's be real. They would just try to bring back anyone who's died by, well, in you go. In case they ever want to do, like, a one-time deal. You know? So, with the Lazarus Pit, they would have an excuse to bring them back. Which, honestly, maybe not to be the best idea. But hey, to each their own, right? Anywho.
Here by choice. Whatever your original intentions, you have become truly lost.
You're a YouTuber, aren't you?
There is a rare blue flower that grows on the eastern slopes.
He tells Bruce to bring a rare flower to a mountain village if he wishes to join the League of Shadows. Jesus, that's some intense fine print for a download. He flashes back to when he was a kid again with his mother, father, and Alfred, played by Michael Caine.
Yeesh. This is jumbled all over the place.
His father, who speaks entirely in platitudes.
All creatures feel fear, especially the scary. A little bit of opera goes a long way.
Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up.
Never judge a book by its cover.
What you see is what you get.
Loose lips sink ships.
Brags about how the Wayne family is essentially Mr. Rogers if he wasn't so lazy.
The city's been suffering, so we built a new, cheap public transportation system.
Your father nearly bankrupted Wayne Enterprises combating poverty.
Your great-great-grandfather was involved in the Underground Railroad.
Okay, I get them being good people, but this idea that the Wayne family has midichlorians of goodness passed down takes away that any common person can be as virtuous as our lead.
Pretty much.
Like, you have to be born in a great bloodline of amazingness.
Is that where you work?
No, I work at the hospital.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, that's where I put my hands on them and they can walk again. They take Bruce to a show, and here's a shock. A kid doesn't want to stay for an opera.
Can we go? Please.
We've been here for like 6 hours. Well, that's Wagner. It's only the overture.
Jesus.
They exit to the back alley. As rich people leaving an opera do, where they're approached by a mugger and shot dead in front of Bruce's eyes. I barely got a line.
Bruce. What the hell?
Cut back to modern day where we see...
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even sure why they decided that way. Also, yeah, if you were rich, I don't know if I'd keep going down the alleys, because I mean, they know the city, so would you really run the risk of going down the alleys? I'm just saying. Anyway.
See Bruce training with the League of Shadows, and I'll confess I never needed to know what happened in between Bruce's parents getting shot and him becoming Batman. I actually enjoyed the mystery and them keeping it vague, but this movie wanted to try something different from the others, and it does it very well. His journey is really fascinating, and you feel legit transformation and growth from him. My only gripe is Neeson's monotone does wear a little bit.
You have learned to bury your guilt. I will teach you to confront it. You know how to fight 6 men. We can teach you how to engage 600. Ninjutsu employs explosive powders. Crime cannot be tolerated.
He sounds like a boring version of that Fatboy Slim video.
He was a farmer, and he tried to take his neighbor's land.
You can go with this, or you can go with that.
Your parents' death was not your fault. The will to act.
You can go with this, or you can go with that.
That's kind of bored.
Cut back to years earlier when Bruce returns home back from college.
Will you be heading back to Princeton after the hearing, sir?
I'm not heading back at all.
I must say, sir, your progress is lacking. I mean, you're 35 and you still haven't graduated. Yeah, Bale doesn't exactly pull off a convincing college student, but to his credit, Katie Holmes as Rachel never pulls off a convincing adult.
Rachel Dawes, who authorized that? Tell him we'll need our own assessment on the judge's desk by morning.
I can't say she's bad in this, but she has the DiCaprio problem. She's so young looking, it looks like she's trick-or-treating half the time.
What chance does Gotham
Does sound
have
like
from the good people?
DiCaprio. Does sound like him.
That and I never noticed. She smirks at moments she really shouldn't smirk.
The Falcone may not have killed your parents. Man, I loved. He never came back at all. My boss has been missing for 2 days. Your father would be ashamed of you.
Why are you saying that like you won a really sick bet? Bruce goes to a hearing for...
Yeah, it does sound a little odd, you know, the smiles and all that. It does seem out of place, you know? But, I don't know, maybe she's just a little too hyped up, but again, I can't know what she's going through the head. And also, yeah, the fact that normal films are like, okay, we'll go for like, you know, older actors and all that. But here, or at least younger actors for the older actors. You know, if you're playing the adult, we'll find someone to play the kid. But here, apparently not so much. I mean, they got it for the little kid, but not that. Is there like a limit of how like a DH character could be? I'm kind of curious now. Anyway.
For the man who killed his parents, who's being set free because he handed over information about a mob boss named Falcone. Bruce is about to get revenge, but literally misses his shot.
Falcone says hi.
Wow. Dude, that was my kill!
Kill
he goes
steal.
to confront Falcone, played by Tom Wilkinson. But big surprise, he ain't all that scared.
Not everyone in Gotham's afraid of you.
A couple off-duty cops and a judge. Now, I wouldn't have a second's hesitation on learning how to play. Right? Now, that's power you can't buy.
I really love this scene because it's explaining a lot of character motivation, but it's done by someone I believe would do it like this. He's telling him all this because it's Bruce Wayne, and he did have the guts to approach him. But he's also out of his league, not aware of the type of power he has. And he would show off that power.
Because your mommy and your daddy got shot. You know about the ugly side of life, but you don't. You've never tasted desperate.
The pro and con of Nolan's writing is that he lets the story do all the work, and hopefully character follows with it. This scene is a perfect example of that working. It sets everything in motion perfectly. You feel Bruce's frustration, but know Falcone is right, and he would gloat about it.
Don't come down here with your anger, trying to prove something to yourself.
Ah, the original warning that we're gonna have for social media.
Yep.
He gives his coat and money to a homeless man.
It's a nice gun.
Maybe I'll start a costume shop with this. I might visit you if you do.
And he enters.
You know, funny thing about a costumes shop, I actually was watching these shorts, and apparently there's a character in Marvel Comics that a lot of superheroes of that universe would actually go down there to get their costumes fixed up. I'm not kidding. I mean, it's not only heroes, but the villains as well. Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of crazy. And I think the one that started it all was, I think, Thor or Captain America. It was one of the Avengers. I don't remember. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of crazy. Like, sorry, but that comic kind of reminded me of that short. If you guys know it, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll find it again. Moving on.
Sort of the crime world.
What was your friend Ewan? Tell that to the guy who owned these.
Uh-oh.
Get it? He stole for himself, so he didn't really become a criminal. Again, I would have liked him more if he really did hit rock bottom, but it does show him stealing to help someone, probably giving birth to the idea of being a vigilante. Surprisingly, that is one of the more believable elements in this. There's so much corruption from the people who are supposed to be helping that you do see why he would go this route. He also shows he'd do anything for the League of Shadows, but he won't do that.
Your compassion is a weakness your enemies will not share.
That's why it's so important.
Jesus, some of these lines are good. They make the mistake of explaining that they're going to destroy Gotham before he kills the guy, proving his loyalty, as they see it as a city so corrupt it must be severed from the rest of the world.
Like Constantinople or Rome before it, and must be allowed to die. It is one we performed for centuries.
Well, for the people who took down Rome and Constantinople, they sure are taken down by one guy with a sword pretty easily. You caused the falls of empires, but you don't put a sheet of glass over the flammables to stop the fall of yours? Whoa! He saves the artist, not yet known as Roz, and contacts Alfred after years of being away.
I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored. I can be destroyed, but as a symbol.
I'm fine, by the way. 70 years alone, and it's still me. Can't wait till he finds out what influences are. He'll fit right in. Back at Gotham, we see Cillian Murphy plays Dr. Crane.
Hello, caller. I'm killing you.
Who's good, and I can see him playing the Scarecrow maybe 10 years later. But as with this film, he kinda has the same problem as Katie Holmes. He looks too young. That, and did someone give him Allum like in a Looney Tunes short? He looks like a wax sculpture of Zach Braff about to kiss me. This is legit uncomfortable, but not the way the Scarecrow should be uncomfortable. Speaking of uncomfortable, not even one day back, and Bruce is already stalking his ex.
We've been
awkward. Dude, you know you can just go up to her.
You realize that American Psycho is just one of Bruce's personalities to get Rachel's attention. From here, Bruce does all the stuff you want to see Bruce do. He returns to his millions, finds a gadget guy played by Morgan Freeman, and puts the Batcave together. It takes about 50 minutes to get here, but by God, it's been built up great, and there is nothing cooler than seeing him put all this shit together. Again, I really feel like Iron Man and other future comic book hero movies really borrowed a lot from this. Granted, when he's trying to help Sergeant Gordon, played by Gary Oldman, he doesn't exactly have his graceful landing yet.
Yikes! And away! Yahoo! Yikes! And away! Yikes! And away!
As Falcone inspects, let's face it, the real reason we all suspect Build-A-Bear is still around. Bruce decides to let the bat out of the bag.
What the hell are you?
Come here!
I'm Batman.
No, you're not the guy from Twilight is. I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable saying that.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really gotten to that part, or, I mean, I know he reviewed it, but to look back on that, but, yeah. I'm gonna have to look back and see how he did that, you know? The Riddler one, but, anywho, moving along. I got nothing else to say. Anywho. Let's go.
So weirdly, Batman Begins goes from great to just good, ironically, when Batman Begins. Don't get me wrong, this Batman is a lot better than the last one, and I adore how well they got the comic book poses down.
What are you gonna do?
But not only is the costume kind of awkward, except for Keaton's, I don't think any of the movie costumes look that great. But as everyone has pointed out, that voice.
This is just the beginning. If they hit the whole city with toxin, there's nothing to stop Gotham tearing itself apart.
Sometimes it sounds okay, and ironically, it's when it just sounds like Bale's normal voice, which is already a pretty cool sounding voice.
I don't have the luxury of friends. Get these to Gordon. One for Gordon to inoculate himself, the other for mass production.
But other times, he clearly needed to re-record when his voice was going, or add some bass, or just stop sounding like a geeky dweeb trying to sound tough.
Taste of your own medicine, Doctor.
Where were the other drugs going? Oh, look, he's doing his Batman voice.
Look at this scene. He's shaking his head like he's Boss Nass. It's just hilarious.
Cops only go there when they're in force.
Do I look like a cop?
And look, I don't blame Bale. When you're in such a strange setup, you have to put a lot of trust in your director. And I just don't think Nolan ever quite figured out how to not make this look and sound a little silly. If not, very silly. Oh, and like I said, the action still sucks.
Yeah, zoom out, come on. Jesus.
I can make out more if the Blair Witch was shooting Cloverfield. But funny enough.
Yeah, like, seriously? Zoom out a bit. Like, I mean, you could have just gone a little deeper. Like, you know, with the inoculation scene. That was a good one. But didn't you not think, like, okay, this is getting really ridiculous. I sound like Scoo-You with a cough. That's what it sounded like to me. Jeez, I don't know why it compared to the Scooby-Doo, but for some reason, it just sticks. Anyway.
Tough, when he's Bruce Wayne, the film gets insanely good again. First off, I love that this is the first Batman film that acknowledges the son of a bitch has to sleep.
Bats are nocturnal. Bats may be, but even for billionaire playboys. 3 o'clock is pushing it.
Not on a Twitch streamer schedule. I also love he has to sacrifice a
still
lot of
sleep
his
till the
public
morning.
image. He has to look heartless to people, even the ones he loves, to distract from who he really is.
It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
Or who you do. She seems really nice. I don't want to finish that joke.
Good call.
Speaking of people I'm sure are very nice in real life.
Everybody's been talking about you.
Good luck with that domestic dispute. I hear that stuff can really screw you up as a kid.
He tries to bust Dr. Crane, who puts on a scarecrow mask when spraying a fear gas on his victims, and for what can cinematically be done with this character, this is pretty weak. I don't know if it was a budget thing or if Nolan thought it wouldn't be realistic enough, but just about everything around the scarecrow, outside of the actor, bites. How many amazing visuals have been utilized with this character? Everything from the costumes to the hallucinations have usually been spectacular. This could have been like Batman fighting Freddy Krueger. There is so much you could have done with this imagery. This looks like a broken Snapchat filter. It's lame as hell.
You need to light.
I mean, he has a point, though. I don't know who came up with the idea of like the back forehead, but it doesn't really scream like scarecrow. I look at that and be like, someone didn't make the cut for the strangers, huh? Like, that's the thing that pops into my head. Like, I don't know. I don't see that and look at, well, scarecrow. You know? I'm gonna do it something. Okay, just look at this right now and just tell me what you see. I mean, honestly, it just looks dumb. Like, even I'm with a critic. Huh, anyway.
No. Tell all your friends about me!
Alfred picks up Bruce and calls Lucius Fox to help make an antidote for the gas. Not since Vicky Vale was led into the Batcave has nobody with any sense ever cared about Alfred letting someone in.
There's something I think you should see.
At the insane asylum, Rachel is getting too close to Crane's operation and he sprays her with the same gas. The scene again proves this guy could have been a fun main villain if they only gave him more time.
He's here.
Who? Here.
The Batman.
He looks like he's gonna sing in Tick Tick Boom. God, I wish there was more of this crazy in the film.
No
we get the one cool image from the fear gas.
Who are you working for?
Okay, now I'm convinced a Batman Beyond movie has to happen. But the cops are called and Batman tries to get Rachel to safety.
You crazies are in there. I'm in a bat suit and I'm out here.
He gets his hot new ride. And while the idea for this chase is cool, again, it's not put together that well. The shots seem good enough, but the editing is way too fast and random to appreciate what we're seeing.
Where are we going?
He friggin' jumps on rooftops in this, and it feels like nothing. It is so wowless. Take the scene where he bursts through a building window, and then it just cuts to him on a bridge. Let me enjoy that damage. This is the Batman equivalent of that Godzilla film where they cut away in the middle of him destroying something. It probably goes without saying this is done a lot better in the next one, but in this film, it is sadly very blasé.
Arrow on the ground. I lost him.
Oh my God, it just disappeared! It's a ghost car!
Stay calm. Breathe slowly.
Yes, woman sprayed with fear gas. Listen to the giant bat saying, "Don't be afraid!" He gets Rachel the antidote while also getting ready for his birthday party. Ironically, they got him a Superman cake.
Those are Bruce Wayne's guests out there, sir. You have a name to maintain.
I don't care about my name.
I really like the speech Alfred gives about keeping his father's name alive. Not Martha, that bitch. Her 2 lines can go straight to hell. But his father's kindness must be preserved.
It's not just your name, sir. It's your father's name, and it's all that's left of him. Don't destroy it.
It's a very powerful scene that is contradicted around every corner. Literally in the next scene, he finds the now revealed Ra's al Ghul returns and pretends to be drunk and send everybody home.
Two-faced friends, you sycophantic suck-ups. The party's over. Get out.
Later, they claim he burned down his own house, so it's kind of odd making such a big deal out of this, only to have to shit on it constantly. Oh, well, at least Rachel gets out okay. Not that it looks that way.
little the worse for wear, I'm afraid.
Good to know, Cosby. This totally wouldn't fly
Yeah,
now.
we're like, yeah, I got a potential raid coming up.
Poison on the entire city. Then watch Gotham tear itself apart through fear.
So there's two really weird things about this scene. One is the League burns Bruce's house down, and he literally just stands there letting them do it.
Create enough hunger and everyone becomes a criminal.
Stop.
Yo, guys.
I'm Batman,
Whoa.
that's all I can do. And I get their plan about destroying Gotham
you
because
didn't
it's
think
too
to have a
massive
sprinkler
and
system
crime
there?
infested, but then they openly say they played a part in that.
With Gotham, we tried a new one. Economics. We underestimated certain of Gotham's citizens, such as your parents.
Okay, first of all, Mother Teresa marrying Gandhi wouldn't be as sacred as these two.
No kidding.
Second, bad economies are often what leads to high crime. This is like punishing a kid for being no good after teaching him every day how to be no good. Isn't your solution also the problem? Bruce and Alfred get out of the burning building, and it's up to Batman to stop the League from unleashing the gas on the city. Even Gordon tries to help.
I'm gonna stop him from loading that train, but I may need your help.
What do you need?
Can you drive stick?
Thus Gotham perished because Gordon couldn't drive stick.
If only.
Okay, at least we get something close to a good Scarecrow here.
There's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Alright, that's pretty cool. And we're back to
he's
sucking
dead.
again. Sorry, comic book fans, we didn't want to scare you with too much cool.
Uh-huh. Like, yeah, I'll be real. Like, the fact that it was like, you have nothing but fear. But fear. It's like, oh! It's just, it went to high pitch after that. I'm like, what the hell was that? Just, I have to ask, what the heck? Anyway.
Holy shit, there's 2 Batman movies I'm in.
Are you sure?
Bruce reveals to Rachel who he is in his lamest Brando impression.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do.
I can't
You know, I never really understood why the
and he
Batman
tries stopping Roz
in the
from
Chris
crashing a train
here
filled with
just-
gas into the main water supply under the Chicago Board of Trade building.
Well, you took my advice about theatricality a bit literally.
Obviously, you didn't, duckface. He gets Roz alone on the train with Gordon shooting the track so that it plummets before hitting the building.
I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
But you created the circumstances in which I died. We both know your ethical loophole is bullshit.
Who started it?
The night is saved. Rachel visits him the next day, and if you really don't want people to know you're Batman, maybe don't leave a mask imprint on your face.
Oops.
I never stopped thinking about you.
No one thought to clean up.
Well,
thanks,
I
Bruce.
guess they're an item now.
Man, I loved. He never came back at all.
You do know
Wow.
you just kissed
Blue
me,
balled,
right?
eh?
So I guess they're just friends because that's all I have to yada yada yada. And Gordon sets up a new toy.
What about escalation?
Escalation.
We start carrying semi-automatics, they buy automatics.
We make a good movie about escalation, we rehash the Ra's al Ghul bullshit in the following one. And I won't lie, when I first saw this, I thought it was some of the weakest sequel baiting I ever saw. And now, I can't help but get chills every time I see it.
Take this guy. Got a taste for the theatrical like you.
I'll look into it.
He's also mailing anal beads and used condoms.
Oh, hell no, I ain't going near
Ew,
that.
I'm not like that. Sorry, I just-
And that was Batman Begins. Flawed, but man, the good stuff really does stay with you.
Amen.
It is funny, but fitting that in a franchise where the Batman stuff is usually the best, the Bruce Wayne
like
stuff would stand out as more powerful. And even then, the Batman stuff isn't awful by any means, it's just a little off. A lot of that would be corrected
So,
by
a
the
good
next one, but as
beginning
this
and
film
end,
goes,
just
there's
the
still
middle
so
didn't really
many
hold up.
things that are burned into my memory.
it's just like,
so many lines, so many lessons, so many struggles between strength and weakness. This truly is a great film about self-discovery and growth. Again, not perfect, but there are lines
we are
from this
kinda growing
movie
with
that are
Batman,
always
so that
going
makes
to
sense.
stick with me. When I think of struggle and overcoming personal demons, this movie's story and visuals do come to mind. And I think it does for a lot of other people who love comic book heroes. As, like I said, I really think the blueprint for a lot of superhero movies of the past 15 years or so came from this. It's a good start to a good reboot, and of course the best was yet to come. I'm a nostalgia critic, and Dark Knight Month has just begun.
Could turn that well.
Yes, Emily!
Another pratfalls. Anyway, there you go. Batman Begins. I'll probably do Man of Steel next, since, you know, there was a reference there. You'll see. It's kind of a Christopher Nolan trademark at that point. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, see ya.